What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of In the Trenches here on the Post-Gazette Sports Now YouTube channel and podcast network. I am Noah Hiles. Joining me for the final time of the season are Gavin Bartholomew and Jake Kradel. Guys, the season is complete. First things first, I just want to get your thoughts on this being the final episode. To start things off, have you guys enjoyed doing this show? Has it been fun? It'd be kind of awkward for me to ask you this question if you said, no, I hated it, and we have to do another 20 minutes of the show. But, what's this experience been like for you doing this show?
I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed getting on here, just, talking ball, talking Pitt football, kind of, talking through the games, talking about the next game ahead and stuff like that and everything in between that. But it would have been better if we would have won a lot more games. But at the end of the day, it was a great experience to just talk, to kind of, actually do a podcast. You see everyone doing podcasts nowadays. And, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience. And, hopefully you guys can, keep this going next year.
I definitely enjoyed it. Like Kradel said, it'd be nice if we won a little more games. It'd be more exciting, I guess. I don't know. More things to cover. But other than that, having people on, like special guests, all the games we played, I thought that was, great addition and a lot of fun. So,
all right. So, guys, let's talk about the season. Obviously, the season comes to a close. Pitt finishes 3-9. I guess a question for both of you. If you had to pinpoint one specific thing that went wrong, and there's a lot that you could point to, what's like your biggest takeaway from this year as to why you think things went the way they did?
I don't know if it's exactly right to use injuries as an excuse, but I feel like you go back to camp. I feel like we as an O-line, we had a really good top five with Matt Gonzalez, Ryan Jacoby, myself, Blake Sabowick, and Branson Taylor. That we all live on one street, hanging out all the time. Like, we had that chemistry there, and it was one thing after another. In camp, Jacoby goes down. Then Matt goes down week 3, and then after week 3, I get concussed for 3 weeks, and it was just like one thing after another. Where I think all year, we had probably 10 different starting offense line combinations where we couldn't necessarily gel. Which I'll tell you, being a center and being able to trust each guy to your left and right, like, you have to have that chemistry and really be able to be on the same page. And I'm not saying we all were on the same page with the group we had out there, but it's definitely made it a lot harder, guys with less experience, guys with some experience. And I think that kind of, threw a little wrinkle in there. And we just, and to add on that, we didn't execute well. Like, that's a known thing. Like, when we look at it, like, our execution was extremely low. And when you don't execute, you're not going to put up yards. You're not going to put up points. So that's kind of my review of the offense of why we struggled this year.
Yeah, to add on to what he said, obviously injuries is a big one. I feel like that kind of took us out of the game a little bit up front for lineman wise. It was tough to get the offense going at times, but we just had to do what was best and make the best of what we had. So injuries wasn't great, and then I felt like sometimes at times rotating quarterbacks was a little tough. Week to week, different game plans. Some quarterbacks adapt differently and lead an offense differently, and inside the huddle. So a lot of things. We're a little different, like mouse turds, but it wasn't crazy. So at the end of the day, we just got to execute.
So the season comes to a close. Just take me through what this past week has been like for the both of you. Sunday morning, your offensive coordinator gets fired. And I've heard that a lot of your teammates kind of found out that news through, reporting, not word of mouth. Like, it just kind of happened out of nowhere. And then I know that Pat has talked about how there's going to be individual meetings with everyone on the team. And obviously some of your teammates have entered the portal. Can you just take me through what these past 4 or 5 days have been like since the season ended? Just all of it, because you've never really been in a spot where your season ended after week 12.
Yeah, definitely. It's been kind of crazy because, like, we like I said, I think before, like we've never been in this spot. Where come December, like we're not bull prepping, we're not, kind of in the whole like gear of like, hey, we still have another football game to gear up for. It's kind of like we had, I guess, like you said. I found out through Twitter. I think you reported it. Like I'm like, damn, I didn't even see it, and I'm like, well, that's just crazy. And then we come in Monday for a team meeting, kind of talking about just the schedule for December and stuff, and then you just hear within the locker room a bunch of guys like thinking about entering the portal and stuff, and it's just the wild west, with NIL transferring and stuff like that. So it's been, for me, it hasn't been as crazy because I'm kind of done now. But for guys like Gavin, I'm sure he can speak on it, what it is. But no, it's nuts. It's gonna be crazy, and it's probably gonna get crazier throughout the next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I feel like the week after the season is definitely the most chaotic and like most interesting week. Just because coming up towards the end of the season, I feel like you got guys in the locker room that like have an idea of what they're doing because like guys communicate throughout the season. If like shit start hitting the fan, like they're gonna be like, oh, like maybe we got to get out of here, like maybe we should stick it out. So it's a lot of that, chit chatting, and then like Kradel mentioned, trying to see what coaches are coming back. Like everyone saw Coach Sig is out. Unfortunately, he was a great guy, but we're gonna be getting a new OC, so some guys might not like that, some guys might. So I mean, the portal is gonna be it's gonna be crazy, so it already is.
So on the note of the portal, Jake, I just have a question I want to ask you. You played 6 years for one school. I don't know how many players in college football are going to be able to say that moving forward. Just because of the COVID eligibility. Obviously, you could still have 6 years of eligibility if you get an injury redshirt and you redshirt. But in considering, how many games did you start in your career? 40?
I think I was 46.
46?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many players at a Power 5 school are going to start 46 games in one spot and not transfer. Would you agree with that? Do you think if you started your career now in the prime of the NIL era and you were starting as a freshman and a sophomore and you had people knocking on your door and saying, hey, we can give you a nice little chunk of change to come take your talents over here. Do you think you still would have stayed at Pitt for as long as you did?
You know what? I'll tell you this. As much as I'm a Pitt man and want to stay here, finish my degree and all that stuff, if people are knocking on my door, throwing some big numbers around, I'm going to entertain it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just, stay here for free, essentially. If I was in that spot, and I would at least, tell Pitt, like, hey, like, match it or, get close to it, because, that's one thing. It's a business. Like, you see coaches all over college football nowadays. Hey, if they're getting $3 million more from an SEC school, usually they're going to take it. They're not going to stay at the same school and, make less. That's kind of like how that's why I'm saying, like, this NIL it's the wild west. It's free agency, and it's like that, the NFL. It's just free agency, and that's where I think, like I said in the podcast last week, like it's great that Pitt has this collective. They can retain players. You can retain your top players and bring in some other players and pay the guys that you think are deserving of it. So yeah, to answer your question, I would definitely have entertained it. I don't know if I would have jumped in the portal. I would have tried to stay here if the offer was right, but definitely I would have explored my options.
Let me just ask you both this. Because Gavin, you came in right in the beginning of this NIL era. Have you noticed a jump up in the rumored money where it felt like a couple years ago, if you went into the portal, you didn't really know how much you could get, but it feels like now dudes know, hey, if I'm getting talked to, if school X is reaching out to my agent, I can assume it's going to be at least this much. Is there a better idea? Is the money kind of a little bit more clearer now than it was a couple of years ago when this whole portal NIL combination began?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like it definitely is, because I feel like, like when other schools are talking to your agents and stuff like that, it's like, it's a big commitment to get in the portal, right? Because depending on like where you are, I know some coaches aren't huge on guys going into the portal and then letting them come back. So it's a big commitment. So I feel like if you were to enter the portal, like these coaches, they got to give you a pretty clear number on what they're going to give you. So like expectation wise, like you have an idea, like a ballpark. So yeah, I definitely say it's a lot more clear. It's a lot more money getting thrown around too. So yeah, there's a lot of money getting thrown out there. Agents talking to everyone. So yeah.
And Jake, as someone who played half of your career before this wasn't even a thing, do you ever sit back and just kind of does your jaw just drop thinking about these number figures that are getting? I mean, Matt Rule said the other day that to get a good quarterback in the portal, you're paying over $1 million.
Yeah.
Does that just blow your mind?
Yeah, honestly, it does. I mean, it's crazy. Like I'm looking at him like I wish I was 2 years younger. I wish I was going into my fourth or fifth year instead of my no eligibility left. But
Yeah.
just seeing what the guys are getting. I mean, it makes me happy because I feel like it's deserving. It's what they should be getting. It's what we should be getting all along. But yeah, it's awesome for them. I mean, I'm excited to see hopefully they get really taken care of. I mean, I understand some people don't want college kids taken care of. They say their education's paid for and all that stuff. But like, I'll tell you, if people knew how my body felt every Sunday morning, they would realize, hey, this money, this compensation's truly deserving, and it's well needed because I mean, we got to take care of our bodies, and it's not free. I mean, we can only get so much at the facility, but you want to go out and get massages and stuff like that, and your body taken care of. You need paid, and that's where I think everyone's getting compensated well, and I'm excited to see it keep increasing throughout the next couple of years.
Let me ask you guys this. I feel like, I never played a college sport, but I covered it when I was in college, and I was friends with a lot of guys on the teams. And I feel like even back when I was in college, which wasn't long ago, probably about a decade ago, which, man, that makes me feel old. There would be resentment for people who would transfer. It was like, well, you're not with us, then you're against us. I don't know if that resentment still exists in college locker rooms now. I feel like it's more understood. Do you feel like there will be resentment toward guys like Bengali or Brandon George or DeAndre Jules, or is it kind of understood? It's like, hey man, you fulfill your commitment here. Now you're gonna go. It's like you took a job elsewhere. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right there. There's no resentment. I mean, I remember when Jordan went and got whatever he got. Like I was happy for the guy. Yeah, I wish he would have stayed here and played, and we won another conference championship and shit like that. But then, Dave, if he's gonna get paid, whatever the rumored amount was of $3 to $5 million, like, good for you. Like, you're taking care of your family, yourself, and everyone else that you take care of, and that's I couldn't fault him one bit. And these guys that are into the portal now, I mean, that's what NIL is, and if that's what if that's why they're leaving, then that's our fault. If we wanted to keep them, we should have retained them, but we didn't. So it's good luck to them, and I hope they do extremely well. I mean, there's no hard feelings for anyone that leaves.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, it's all love. I mean, we're all brothers. We've been battling together for 3-4 years, whatever it is now. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business thing. So, I mean, you got to do what's best for you and your family, and no one's gonna look at you funny or judge you something like another way. So, yeah.
And you know what? People didn't even consider. Maybe Jordan transferred for a better education. Like
Right.
at Southern Cal. Maybe they have a good program for what he was studying, right? So,
Well,
no. All right, I got one more question I want to ask the both of you. But before we do, let's get into both of our ad reads. We'll have Jake do his ad read first, then Gavin, and then we'll do one question, and that will bring an end to season 1 of In the Trenches.
In the Trenches is brought to you by the one place in Pittsburgh where you can caffeinate and create, Brushes and Beans Cafe in Murraysville. At Brushes and Beans Cafe, you can enjoy a delicious latte, cappuccino, cold brew, and much more while relaxing and creating your very own masterpiece. For more information, visit our website at www.brushesandbeanscafe.com or give them a call at 724-610-3782.
This segment is sponsored by Rendine Consulting, helping company staff integrate and optimize their technology systems. Call 412-965-5933 for your technology needs.
All right, so I've kind of kicked this can around all show. Gavin, there's obviously an elephant in the room we have to address. I'm a journalist, so I have to ask the tough questions. I take no privilege in asking this, but how's your ankle feeling?
Good. Feels really
Yeah,
good.
that's what everyone wants to know about you, right? Is your ankle?
Yeah.
That's the big
Yeah.
question. No, but so in all seriousness, I want to ask you both what your futures look like. Because I think they're both conversations to be had. And Gavin, I'm not asking you. Obviously, this is a decision. I mean, if there is a decision to be made, regardless, that I as someone who covers college athletes, I understand that that's your news to break.
Yeah.
I'm paid in the I'm in the business of breaking news, but when it's talking about a college kid's future, this is the biggest decision they're ever going to make, or one of them. I'm going to allow them to make that decision. I just want to kind of get where your head's at. Is there a decision to be made? Are people looking at you? Are other schools looking at you? Is there any consideration?
I'm taking in everything right now. Looking at all my options. There's definitely been some other schools out there that have looked at me and showed some interest. So right now I'm just talking it over with my family. Just trying to think of what's best for me and my future to get me where I want to go, which is the NFL. So, whatever's going to get me there and help me get there is going to be my ultimate decision.
So my alma mater, Mount Union, I'm working on starting a collective. They will be reaching out. I don't know if you want to play D3 for your final college season. Feel like that might be not the best move for you, but I don't know what you're getting NIL wise. It will probably be less, but we could continue the podcast if you stay here at Pitt or if you go to Mount Union, just giving you some other options.
I like that. I like that.
What's this process while you're weighing your options? What's this like? Are you stressed, or is it just kind of,
Yeah.
like, hey, like I can't go wrong here, or no?
I mean, a little bit of both. I mean, in a way, it's like a win-win for me, but like at the same time, it's like the most stressful decision ever. Because it's kind of like recruitment all over again, but like almost harder because you're already home. So it's like, I don't know. It's just a tough situation, and it's a big decision, and it's a lot of things I got to think about and considerate. So
I don't want to put a date on your announcement, but do you think by this time next week we'll know?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you should.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you to it. That'll be exciting. I'll be and some people think, I have inside information with these two guys just because I do a show with them. They've been steel traps all year long. There have been numerous times where they're like, how did you know that? When we get on, you look at Gavin flexing. So while I look forward to hearing more about both of their individual journeys, I legit have no idea what they're going to do here. And I look forward to finding out. So on that note, Jake, I noticed that you did not post an NFL draft declaration graphic. Never understood why some of those were made when it's the only option. But are you going to try out for the NFL?
Yes,
are you going to give that a go?
I will be declaring for the draft, and
breaking news. Breaking news.
No, but I honestly, I'm gonna. My plan is to stay here. Probably train with Coach Stack and his staff, and I've seen other guys like Gabe stay here and they really work out, and finish my MBA this spring semester. I have 6 more credits left, and just see everything what happens. And that's the thing. But yeah, it's funny you say that because I was telling Gavin, I'm like, what, like, where else are we declaring to? Like, we have no more eligibility, like the
Jake,
workforce, or
you should make your announcement on a notes app. Just type in like, I'm gonna try to play pro football. Jake Kradel.
Right. Yeah.
Shout out to Pitt.
Exactly.
That's funny.
But no, yeah. So that's gonna be good. So I'm super excited and see what happens.
All right, guys. As we wrap up, I just want to take a second. I'm not getting choked up. I just had some fun. Don't think I'm getting that emotional. As we wrap up, I just want to take some time to tip my hat to both of you. And I've said it before on this show. now I am getting emotional. No, I'm just kidding. But this season has had to suck for you. You both got injured. You only won 3 games. Obviously, the offense was a tough thing to be a part of this year. And every week you two showed up and talked about it. And you gave an inside look into your locker room when I'm sure there were times there were some things you had to dance around going on in that locker room. And you guys brought the energy, you brought ideas, you brought fun. I had a fun time doing this. It made my job easier, knowing that when I sent this link, you both are going to be excited to come on and do this show. And I hope I can do something like this again with, Gavin, if you're around, or just another Pitt player. And again, it's not like the inside access. I think it's just a cool thing for Pitt fans to get more than 5 minutes every now and then with two starters where a whole bunch of recorders are around. I think this show, despite the poor season that took place, went really well. And I hope you guys feel the same way.
100%.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right. So with that all being said, we'll all be tuned in to see, what happens next here with Pitt football. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. You can follow all of the Post-Gazette's coverage at post-gazette.com. We'll have plenty of sports content on this channel as well, including Pitt athletic stuff. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and keep it locked in, as we'll have all of your Pittsburgh sports coverage at post-gazette.com. Take care.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.